Your body is still running the turn into a fluffy ball setting, except you forgot to install the fur. Goosebumps? That's your skin trying heroically to puff up hair you barely have, like a cat in a horror movie, but bald. Millions of years ago, this made you look bigger to predators and warmer in the cold. Now, you just look like a startled chicken nugget. So why hasn't evolution patched this obvious bug yet? And what exactly is your body time's trying times to do every time you get chills from music or fear? Your skin has built-in panic buttons for a problem you no longer have. Not being fluffy enough. Goosebumps happen when microscopic muscles at the base of each hair, the arrector pili, contract and yank those hairs upright like a crowd doing the wave. In animals with actual fur, this turns them into a walking puff jacket, trapping a layer of warm air close to the body. It's basically turning yourself into a portable duvet. But on humans? Congratulations! You've just turned your arm into lightly textured chicken skin. The system still fires because it's wired into your autonomic nervous system, the same one that handles things like heart rate and sweating, so it's not asking your permission. It just sees cold or fear and goes, "Deploy fluff!" Meanwhile, your body hair is sitting there like 3 confused interns trying to lift a couch. Evolution didn't delete the feature. It just stopped maintaining it. So every time you get goosebumps, your body is earnestly trying to transform you into a majestic, fluffy mammal, and you're like, "Buddy, we lost that update about 200,000 years ago." Goosebumps aren't just about warmth, they're also your body's attempt at looking intimidating, which is hilarious if you've ever seen your own arm in that state. When an animal feels threatened, those same arrector pili muscles lift the fur, making the animal appear larger and more imposing, like a cat puffing up into a spiky balloon. It's nature's version of wearing shoulder pads, but for your entire body. Humans still run this program when we're scared because it's tied to the fight or flight response. Adrenaline hits, your heart races, and your skin goes, "Time to look huge." Except, you don't. You look exactly the same, just slightly bumpier, like a plucked chicken trying its best. Imagine trying to intimidate a predator, and all you can do is slightly raise your arm hair by 0.5 millimeter. That's not a threat. That's a texture. But the wiring is ancient and automatic, so your body keeps hitting the inflate fur button, even though the fur department has been downsized to almost nothing. It's like revving an engine in a car that no longer has wheels. Here's where things get weirdly poetic. Your body uses the same circuitry for fear, cold, and that moment when a song hits so hard you feel it in your spine. Goosebumps can be triggered by strong emotions, especially awe, nostalgia, or powerful music, because they're tied into the brain's limbic system, which handles emotional processing. When something moves you deeply, your brain activates a cascade involving dopamine and adrenaline, and your body responds like, "This feels important, possibly life-threatening? Better prepare the fur." So you're sitting there listening to a violin solo, and your body is gearing up like you're about to fight a wolf. It's basically your nervous system confusing beauty with danger in the most dramatic way possible. Scientists sometimes call these frissons, those chills you get from music, and they're more common in people who are highly responsive to emotional stimuli. So yes, when your favorite song gives you goosebumps, your body is technically reacting as if something intense and urgent is happening. It just happens to be a really good chorus instead of a saber-toothed tiger. Try giving yourself goosebumps on command. Go ahead, I'll wait. You can't, right? That's because goosebumps are controlled by the autonomic nervous system, the part of your body that runs behind the scenes like an over-caffeinated stage manager. It handles things you don't consciously think about: heart rate, digestion, sweating, and yes, the activate useless fluff feature. Specifically, it's the sympathetic branch, the same one that kicks in during stress or excitement. When it fires, signals travel down nerves to those tiny arrector pili muscles, telling them to contract instantly. There's no meeting, no vote, no, "Are we sure this is still useful?" It just happens. That's why goosebumps show up uninvited when you're cold, scared, or emotionally overwhelmed. You can sometimes trigger them indirectly by imagining something intense or listening to powerful music, but you're basically tricking your brain into flipping the switch. It's not direct control. It's like trying to manually turn on your house's smoke alarm by thinking about fire. The system is automatic, ancient, and completely uninterested in your opinions. If goosebumps don't really help us anymore, why didn't evolution just delete them like an unused app? Because evolution is less like a meticulous engineer and more like someone who never cleans their desktop. It doesn't optimize for perfection, it just cares whether something is good enough to survive and reproduce. Goosebumps aren't harmful, they don't cost much energy, and they're tied into systems that are still very important, like temperature regulation and emotional responses, so there's no strong pressure to get rid of them. Removing the reflex would mean rewiring parts of the nervous system that already work fine, and evolution tends to avoid major renovations unless absolutely necessary. It's the biological equivalent of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Even if it is a feature that now makes you look like refrigerated poultry. So Goosebumps stick around as a kind of evolutionary fossil, a reminder that your body was once designed for a hairier, colder, more dramatic world. Your firmware hasn't been updated, but it still boots just fine.